Welcome back to Dinner and Show. My name is Ethan.
And my name is Sherry. This week we are continuing with our celebration of the 25th anniversary of Friends by cooking our way through Teresa Finney's cookbook, the one with all the recipes. So last week for our first recipe, we made the meatball sub that Joey risked his life to save from what he thought was a bullet in season 5, episode 20, the one with the ride-along. So today we're backtracking 8 episodes to season 5, episode 12,
The one with Chandler's work life,
where Ross first finds out that Emily is going to be remarried. So in addition to Ross's reaction to the news, we're also going to be taking a closer look at Emily pre- and post-wedding to Ross to see if she really is as bad as the friends make her out to be.
I definitely think she is.
And that's where we disagree. But if we're going to be talking about Ross and Emily and their London wedding, it's only fitting that we make some stupid British snack food scones. So before we get started on our second recipe now, Ethan, what all goes on with Ross in the one with Chandler's work laugh?
The episode opens up with Ross telling the group that Emily is being remarried. He then takes that anger out on a defenseless scone.
Here's your scone.
Oh, thanks, Gunther. Thanks.
Stupid British scone!
Later, all of the friends except Chandler, for some reason, were up and waiting for Ross because he didn't come home that night.
What were you doing? Ross, you left your scarf in the... Hey, you guys.
Joey thinks that Ross lost his mind because he was with Janice.
This is Ross, okay? He's our friend. He obviously went crazy.
Ross then tells the group that he and Janice have a lot in common and that he plans on seeing her again. By the end of the episode, Janice has to dump Ross because she cannot take his whining anymore.
Even Janice can't take Ross's whining.
Janice.
You're a very sweet person, Ross. Unfortunately, I just don't think I can take another second of you whining.
In a large mixing bowl, we combine the flour, baking powder, cinnamon, and salt, and whisk together. We then add a stick of butter pre-grated with a box grater to the dry ingredients. In a second bowl, we add the egg, heavy cream, vanilla, and brown sugar, and whisk to combine. Next, we pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, stir, and fold in the chocolate chips. On a lightly floured surface, we press the dough into an 8-inch by 1-inch thick circle. Cut 8 triangles into the dough and place on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. We then brush each scone with heavy cream and bake for about 25 minutes or until golden brown.
I was there too, and you know what they said, some of it was true.
My scone! My scone!
Okay, so we have our scones here. Here you go, Ethan.
Thank you very much.
All right, here we go. That's good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Sorry. Just a moment.
Just waiting for it.
You know what? I've maybe only had one other scone before. A Starbucks scone, I believe. But I remember it having like a biscuit sort of consistency, like a thicker, denser consistency. This almost tastes like a big, like fluffy chocolate chip cookie.
It is.
So really good. What do you think?
I really like it. The flavor is good. The taste, I love it. The texture is good too. I really like it overall.
Yeah, so maybe if you're looking for like a traditional scone, this isn't. And actually, of course, later on we're gonna do a video with the friend John, the Nestle Toll House, cookies, Phoebe's aunt's cookie recipe. So this might step on that a little bit. I definitely recommend trying this recipe. I'm not going to keep eating it right now just because we're going to talk. So we have our scones. Now is a good time to talk a little bit about Emily.
Give it E!
E!
Give it M!
M!
Give it I!
I!
Give it L!
L!
Give me Y!
Y!
What do you get? Oh, Emily! Woo! Emily!
So first, like I said, let's take a look at Emily pre-wedding. So she makes a point to be friends with Ross's friends.
Ross, that girl just spent the entire evening talking to your friends, asking to hear stories about you, looking through Monica's photo albums. I mean, you don't do that if you're just in it for 2 weeks.
So on several occasions, Ross says that he likes himself more when he's with Emily.
But guys, when I'm with her, it's like she brings out this great side of me. I mean, I love her.
When she left her family, friends, and job to move to a different country to be with Ross.
Oh, leaving London. My whole family lives there.
No.
My job.
Well, so you'll get a job here.
Okay, so let's take a quick look at the moment that changed everything between Ross and Emily.
Now, Ross, repeat after me. I, Ross,
I, Ross.
take thee, Emily.
Take thee, Rachel. Emily.
Okay, so I was never too big of a fan of Emily. I think just because I always kind of tend to root for Ross and Rachel, even though Rachel only seemed to be interested in Ross when he was unavailable. But we're going to talk more about Ross and Rachel. Actually, we're going to pretty much talk all about Ross and Rachel next week. So I'll leave that out for now. But I definitely don't think that Emily was at fault for the divorce.
So you think cutting people out of his life is okay?
I mean, I think a lot of people tend to look at it like he's cutting one of his best friends out of his life and it was unreasonable to do that and it's Rachel and this and that. But I think if you look at that from Emily's perspective, which you have to do, first you have, he said Rachel's name at the wedding, the humiliation from that. Then there's the honeymoon fiasco. So she shows up hoping to make things work with Ross despite what he did at the wedding, which is more than probably a lot of people would have done.
Well, he didn't know that he was in a shop. He thought that they were done.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but even then, he's still married to Emily. There's no way that he should have been going on his honeymoon with Emily with Rachel.
Oops. Okay, we're going to go. Yeah. Okay.
I forgot my jacket.
Oh, wait.
Well, you tell him to wait.
Okay. Wait.
Okay. Emily.
And then it's Rachel, so you have the whole history. They've dated, they've been on and off multiple times. He's been after Rachel since high school. So if you consider all of those things, then I can't blame Emily here.
What about the furniture and the apartment and all that?
So that, I guess that's a little more debatable just because he had already agreed that he wasn't going to see or talk to Rachel anymore. Which, of course, he went back on, by the way.
That could have been the last time we saw the six of them together. But
still, he had agreed not to see her anymore. And there she was, again. So, again, with that, like, I guess she could have taken that a little too far. But I still can't put her at fault for this. Like, Ross is not the victim in the divorce, for sure. But we're going to have to agree to disagree. So I will say that there's one thing about Emily that has always just kind of bugged me. I don't know why. But the way that she says, oh my God, I can't stand to listen to the way she says, oh my God. I would rather hear Janice and her famous, oh my God, than Emily.
Oh, Oh my God!
Oh my God.
And speaking of Janice, she makes an appearance in this episode. So I guess Ross's way of kind of dealing with Emily being remarried is to almost start to date Janice. Which, by the way, I love Janice, for the record. I think Janice is great. Obviously, he does not agree with that either. But I always look forward to an episode with Janice.
Okay, you, Mr. Right Place at the right time. Call me.
So Janice, for sure, she has the personality and the voice and the laugh, but it makes her all that more likable to me. Like I said, I always look forward to an episode with her. And especially in this episode, since she is framed to be such the most annoying character in the show, I think it was just super fitting that she was the one that had to dump Ross, because he was so annoying that even Janice had to dump him.
Janice.
So you're saying I've become so whiny that I annoy you, Janice.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
So I know Ethan has been eager the whole time to smash a scone. So we're going to finish this video off the way that it started, with the smashing of a scone. Get out of the way. Stupid British snack food! And now I have a mess to clean up. That's okay. But anyways, this week we're going to leave you with what we think is the funniest moment of the show this week. And we'll see you next week.
Okay, look, I know what you guys are gonna say.
You two would have very hairy children.
Okay, I didn't know you would say that.